We're live.
And we're live. Hey, you guys, welcome. This is Feature Friday. And so I haven't done a Feature Friday in a long time. Um, Mostly because I've been like working and like really in the Feature Friday grind, so we can get here. So Feature Friday is typically where I get with maybe couples that have worked with me either delivering a baby, whether a home birth or a hospital birth or anything like that, and just kind of like brought them in to share their story. Well, today we're going to switch it up a little bit, and we're going to talk about like the postpartum journey and health in your postpartum period, and what is the biggest thing that women are concerned about in the postpartum period. And I'm just going to throw a couple things that I hear a lot. Women are concerned about money, because oftentimes they are off from work and they're not able to maybe contribute to their household in the way that they always have. So they're concerned about money. They're concerned about milk supply. They're concerned about, like, is my baby getting enough? Am I okay? They're sleep deprived. They're concerned if they're going to have postpartum depression or blues, or maybe lose their life at the end of this journey or somewhere on this journey. So those are some big kind of factors. Or maybe their birth experience wasn't what they had hoped for. And because of that, they're thinking about maybe needing therapy or maybe needing some additional support, because that birth journey wasn't exactly what they had anticipated. So, yes. So I've got my girl Tiara here, and she is literally 1 year out from her postpartum. Like a year ago, wait, well, let me say 1 year and 2 days ago, right? Is it 2 days?
Yes.
1 year and 2 days ago, she was like, "Ooh, Lord." No, she wasn't.
I'm a quiet laborer, kind of,
She is
sort
a
of.
quiet laborer. You guys, I have to tell on her husband, because when you're laboring properly and you're moving and you're making the proper sounds for labor, um, it sounds like lovemaking. So labor sounds, when it's like good, it sounds like lovemaking. So anyways, I'm just going to model this. So T is like leaned back, like she's leaned over the counter, right? And she's like swaying her hips. I don't know if you can see my bottom from the side. So swaying her hips, right? And then her husband is standing behind her, and he's doing like hip squeezes, counter pressure, like he's supporting her and doing all the things, right? Y'all, this dude said, and she's moaning and like laboring through it. This dude was like, "Girl, you about to give me a hard on up in here."
He's a hot mess. Yeah. I was like,
He
really?
fell out. Like the
something
whole
coming
birth
out.
team. Yes. The whole birth team just fell out. But what did you say, T? Like in your mind, you thought what? Do you remember what you said?
No.
You said, "Well, Nicole says labor should sound like lovemaking, so I guess I'm doing it right." So, anywho, I mean, of course, we have to just open with like who we are, like real life, real talk. So, T, talk to us about some of the things that when you were near the end of your pregnancy and looking out towards the future of adding, so you're a mom of four, so adding a new little person into your life, what were some of the things that you were kind of concerned about going into the postpartum period? Like what kind of had your mind going?
Probably the number one thing on my list was I wanted an extended postpartum phase. I did not want to only stay home for 6 weeks. Like, I'm probably going to get a little lit up because I get really frustrated with the way that our healthcare system does not take care of moms postpartum,
Yeah.
specifically in the United States. When you,
Mhm.
I mean, just go, and it's not every state, because I have a friend who lives in California where she gets 12 weeks of paid postpartum leave, and then if she wants to extend it, it's like half of her salary. I mean, certain
Okay.
states do different things, but we are in Arkansas, And
Mhm.
so I was only going to have 6 weeks because I was having a vaginal birth, not a cesarean. You get a couple of extra weeks if you have a cesarean,
Hmm.
and 8 weeks
Okay.
is not enough time to recover
Right.
from a cesarean. 6 weeks is
Mhm.
not enough time to recover from having a baby because they're only looking at, oh, your uterus has shrank back. You should be done bleeding by then. Hormones will be different because they're not regular,
Whatever they are, they don't care.
whatever they
It's
are.
not important.
And so that was my biggest concern. I was like, I knew that there was in my mind, I was like, Lord, there's no way that I can manage my home, that I can go back to work, that I can
Mhm.
successfully breastfeed this new
Mhm.
baby with two toddlers in my house,
Yeah.
a teenager, my husband, and just busy schedule. And so my prayers had been like, Lord, make a way.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go back to work, but I also help carry the financial load in my home. And I
Right.
wanted to be able to not leave my husband with the burden of trying to take care of the amount of money that I typically bring in.
Mhm.
And yeah, that was my biggest thing at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So there are obviously some various stress markers, right? And so going into that, there's stress that comes along with like, ooh, I'm stepping into something new. I don't know what this is going to look like. What options do I have? So I want to dig into, and I want to talk a little bit about your health, right?
Mhm.
And I want you to just kind of expose yourself out here. I don't want to expose you, but I am exposing you by saying, go on and expose your health. So, when you were pregnant with your fourth baby, tell me some of the health condition that you were in, like like diastasis and like all of the health condition that you were in during your pregnancy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll start with diastasis. So
Okay.
I'm not a tall lady. And and I'm not typically like I don't have a lot of space. And
Hmm.
my kids have trended within the 8 pound range. And so my belly distends forward very, very much. Most people are like, you've got to be having twins. I'm not.
Hmm.
My abdominal muscles are weak. I carry way out here, and that was really, really hard on my muscles. That was hard on my hips.
Hmm.
I was needing to go to the chiropractor. I really needed to go probably almost every day to get realigned. There were just a lot of things that I needed for support. I had to wear a belt every day to try to keep,
Hmm.
because relaxing, it does its job. But when
Yep.
you're built like I was during pregnancy, it was too much. And just walking from one place to another took a lot of energy. It took a lot
Hmm.
of effort. So I was
Hmm.
always having back pain, hip pain, abdominal discomfort. I would get Cordell to like hold my belly just to give
Yeah.
me some relief for
Hmm.
however long he could
Hmm.
hold my belly. And then he
Hmm.
let go. And I was like, no, no, come back, come back. That was just really, that was rough, but that was always my experience. I had
Hmm.
chronic constipation
Mm.
even before I got pregnant. And so I was already like, oh, Lord Jesus, how, what are we going to do? I'm out here. Let's just expose even more. I had hemorrhoids. And
Mhm.
we all know that when I was in labor, like one of the first things, probably during one of our first prenatals, I was like, Nicole, I am concerned. Somebody's got to hold my butt.
Right.
Like we just have that relationship. And even when
Yes.
I was in labor with Caleb, I remember like literally as
Mhm.
zoned out as I was, once he started coming, I was like, somebody get my
I
butt.
remember.
It's funny now, but like that's traumatic. If you are
Mhm.
someone who deals with like chronic constipation, you probably have hemorrhoids, and having a baby, it is like that's worse than the baby
Yeah,
coming out.
yeah, lots
And
of
so
pressure on
like
it. Mhm.
that, and I felt exhausted and I was tired. I was literally running on the strength of Jesus and caffeine every day.
Mm.
I would stop at Starbucks and I would get the Treinta, which is like a 30
Right.
ounce Starbucks.
Oh,
I'm telling on myself, you probably didn't know
because I didn't know this, because I would have been it.
that.
Okay. Mhm.
In my mind, it was like, oh, it's just fruits and berry and a little bit of water and a little caffeine. It's better than the coffee. It's natural caffeine, right?
Mm. Uh-huh.
I was getting those every day. I would drink half first thing and then I would drink the other half. And don't give me ice because I need my full 30 ounces. Okay.
Right.
Don't ship me Starbucks. And so that
Yeah.
was my fuel. And then I would get home and it was over.
Mm.
Cordell is such a super dad. I would come home. As soon as he would get home, it was me on the couch. I would sit there. He would cook. He would clean. He would feed the kids. He'd be like, "You hungry?" I'm like, no, no. And then he would get them in the bed and on the tub and get them in the bed. That was it.
Mhm,
That was all I
mhm.
had.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a lot.
It's a
It's a lot to be in that kind of state, growing a human, right? So the work of growing a human is a lot, and it taxes our bodies in ways that we don't actually realize. But we often say, well, we're growing a human, and so it's okay and it's normal and common to feel like, what is your word? How did you feel during your pregnancy?
hot trash on the side of the road on a hot Arkansas summer day.
So people think that that's normal. It's not. You
Mm-mm.
should not feel like that in your pregnancy. There's a way that you can thrive during your pregnancy.
Mhm.
So, at the very tail end of Tiara's pregnancy, I had started my journey with regenerative health and like superfoods and really incorporating that into my life so that I could show up well and alive and energetic with my clients. And then I started to kind of move into this place of like, hey, this isn't just for me. This
Mhm.
is for my clients, and they can have improved quality of life during their pregnancy. Like, not only can they survive a pregnancy, but they can thrive during it. And like hair growth, nail growth, like feeling alive and like showing up and be like, yes, right? Those are all possibilities. However, you have to give yourself the right foundation to get to that place. So when Tiara came to me and she was, y'all, when I tell you, she looked like what she described, and it broke my heart every time I would see her. She'd be like, I'm just here. And I was like, oh God, what are we going to do? And so I was like, I introduced her to superfoods. And I was like, you know what? Let's just, like, literally, let's just take this. Like, what is it? It don't matter right now. It's a solution. So
Mhm.
let's just get into it. And so she did. And I feel like our long-term like friendship, relationship, mentorship, like all of that just kind of allowed her to say, okay, yes, I trust you. Obviously, you're not going to give me some poison berries, right? Um, and so she did. And then what were the results? Like, what, you had your power shake, you had super aminos, maybe a biomedic even, maybe not, I don't know. But I felt like I was just handing you stuff and like, here, shake this up, drink this. And then what happened? So we know what it was like before. What happened when you took that in?
So I drove home from Conway. I live in Little Rock. Nicole was in Conway. So I
Mm,
drove that 25 minutes home. And
35.
I, huh?
It's 35. Ooh.
Okay. 35 minutes home. And, and I actually was able to, I had energy.
Mm,
I helped Cordell cook dinner. I helped bathe them kids, put them
yes.
to bed. And it was 9 o'clock. And I was like, oh my God, I got energy. I could read a book. Oh, I could pray. I could do things.
Yes.
And I was like, I knew that something, I was like, okay, Nicole, I need this in my life. Like whatever
Mhm.
it is, whatever this is doing, I need it. Oh, and I remember this too, Nicole. I didn't share this a minute ago. Remember when I was like spilling protein in my
Mhm.
urine
Oh, yep.
because I
Mhm.
wasn't my body, I wasn't hydrating and I wasn't
Yep.
eating enough.
Yep.
That's how
Yep.
exhausted I was. But
Yep.
this night I was like,
Yes.
hey, let's do this.
I love it. And it was such a beautiful kind of turnaround, like seeing you go, wait, oh, I could do all of these things. And I was like, we need to make this happen. And, honestly, affordability was an issue, right? So, like, stepping into it and being able to afford having this quality nutrition initially was an issue. And so we had to find a way to like get this into your life and maintain it. And so, what did you do to say, like, I need this because I can tell my body's responding. So, what did we come together as a solution for that? What did we do?
I decided I was going to be a brand partner too. Like,
Yes.
I need to be able to afford this, not just for me, but for my family too. And
Hmm.
so when you presented this opportunity for me to partner with you and actually um, sell the superfoods too, initially I was like, oh, I've been in another, social sharing company
Hmm.
before. it didn't go as well as I had hoped. And I
Yeah.
knew I needed an additional stream of income, but there
Mhm.
was that little bit of like fear
Yeah.
of doing it. But you and Deetra made me feel like I was in the safest space if I said yes.
Yeah.
And that I wasn't going to be alone and trying to figure it out. And even like I didn't know exactly what I was stepping into. I
Mhm.
just felt that this was something that I needed for me and for my family. And so I said yes. And I was like, God, you got to bless this if this is what you want me to do.
Yeah. 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 And you did, and like, but you also had just had a baby. Like, your shipment of superfoods arrived, I think, the day before or the day of your labor. There was a picture I just sent of you, like, I called it like labor juice or something,
Mm-hmm.
and you were having your superfoods, and you were
Yep.
just sitting there like laboring on the ball or something like that, and you had your superfoods, and that was your shipment, but you were also a partner, and so you had the opportunity to not only focus and improve your health and start reversing some of those issues that you were seeing in your own health, you had now moved to a place of, I want to share this with others. But like, I just got a baby, so I don't know how I'm about to do all this. So, how did that work for you? In what ways, you mentioned feeling safe. In what ways, like, what was that journey like starting a brand new business, bringing in a fourth child, choosing to stay home for an extended period of time? Like, what was all going on through your head in that process? Like, how did that feel?
It was scary as all get
Mhm.
out.
Mhm.
Um, but there was a level of peace that I had because of the mentorship that I received. I
Mhm.
was not left to figure this out by myself. There's no way I could have figured this out by myself. But it felt so, as I began to learn a little bit more, it felt too integral to who I am as a woman and as a child of God and as a health practitioner for me to be like, to let fear step in the way. But
Mm.
you grabbed my hand and you were like, T, I got you. We're going to do this. We're not going to stop. Let's
Yeah.
go. And I was like, okay, let's go. And every day I followed the instructions that you gave me, scared
Mhm.
and all. I
Mhm.
followed them.
Yeah.
And I always say, like, I always think of this scripture: one man sows, one man waters, but it's God
Yeah.
who gives the increase. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's literally what happened every
Yeah.
single day for like the last year and 2 days.
Yes.
But I have seen, and goodness, it's been beautiful.
I love that. I love that so much. So let's talk about, we talked a little bit about what your health was like before. Let's talk about what your health looks like now. What things have you seen from incorporating the superfoods into your life? So, what have you seen in your own health in your postpartum period?
So initially, the first thing I noticed was the amount of energy I had,
Mm.
even though I was not getting adequate sleep. They tell you every hour to 2 hours to feed your baby. My son and everybody else's kids, if you're honest, they nurse every 30 minutes.
Mm.
And like when you're both trying to get acclimated to nursing, that you don't just wake up and put the boob in the mouth like I do
Right.
now. You got to wake up and
And
maneuver.
yeah, yep.
So like my apothecary helped me actually feel like I got really good sleep. And then I incorporated, can't beat this, but I was able to like have sustained energy. I wasn't snappy. I wasn't
Mhm.
angry at everybody because I was tired. That was one of my concerns too. I wanted to be able to mentally and emotionally show up for my family. And
Yeah.
it's really hard to do that when you're tired. And
Yes.
that was a concern. So that was beautiful. That was the initial thing. So I
Mhm.
keep going.
Yeah.
Well, then my body decides we're gonna drop weight.
Mhm.
Um, that was not why I did it, of course. But now I'm a year out. I was pushing 200 pounds on my little 5'1" frame, and I've dropped over 80 pounds, and I
Yeah.
like floored. Was not my intention, but my
Right.
body was like, "We don't need this. We
We
gonna
don't
let
need
it
it.
go."
Yes.
The diastasis was 6 finger widths apart. That's a big
Mhm.
gap on an
Yep.
average. Um,
Yep.
and now it's down to 2. I no longer struggle with chronic constipation. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Um,
We got a nice flow, right?
nice flow. No more hemorrhoid action through my preparation HA. Um,
Nice.
like I feel so good in my body in a way that I normally had not. Like I
Yeah.
have struggled with most of these things since my teen years because I mean, think about it, I had Eve at 18, turned
Mhm.
19 a few days later. I've
Right.
literally been struggling with all of these things since I was a teen.
Mhm.
Um, let's see, stretch marks are diminishing. Hey, girl. And then my milk supply was phenomenal. I
Mhm.
did not have a dip in my milk supply at
Yeah.
all. So much
Yeah.
so that I've donated over 1,000 ounces of breast milk. And Joshy and I are still going strong and nursing, and he's a year and 2 days.
Yeah. You're like, he's a year and 2 days, and I might cry about it. I love it. Shelby, what have I missed? You missed a lot, baby. You're gonna have to catch this replay. Love you, girl. I don't know who this is. Are the superfoods taken in addition to your normal meals? Yes. So, but they are a meal. So you take them as a meal. So you're going to have breakfast, you have your superfood or your power shake for your breakfast, and then you can go maybe have some other fruits or something later. So it's incorporated into your grocery budget, right? So I do this, you do this, many of our customers and even other brand partners do this. Like, let's say you spend, I don't know, let's say you spend $500 a month on groceries, right? Like at Kroger. I'd say Kroger because that's where it's close to me. Like, so let's say you spend $500 a month on, groceries at Kroger. You might take 200 and spend 200 to 300 and spend on your superfoods. And then the other remaining, you go to the grocery store. So together that you're not adding more to your budget. You're basically saying, this is my budget. And now let me subtract here and balance here. Also, that makes sense. Also, this is Nicolette. I don't know why your name isn't showing up either, Nicolette, but so glad to have you. um, so T, like, I loved watching your journey. And I remember there were times in this postpartum journey that you would be nursing and building your business. So you would be on a call and Joshy would be like, literally, like, we're looking right here, right? And Joshy's right underneath here. And you could see a hand every now and again, like, come up right here. And so we knew that you were nursing your baby, but having the opportunity to bring in income and stay at home with your baby while improving your health and the health of your family. What was that like? Like, describe, like, what did that feel like? How did that make you feel as like a wife, as a mother, as a woman? How did that feel?
It felt like I had stepped into a deeper portion of my place and my purpose.
Mm.
Um,
Hold
to,
up.
it,
Hold up. Pause. I was not ready to go that deep. You just like went in and I was like, chills all over my body. I'm just like, okay, let me take it in. Okay, go ahead.
So I had been telling Cordell probably for like the last 6 months to a year. I said, I feel like my place is at home. And
Mhm.
I love being a nurse. I love working outside of the home, but I just felt like for this season, my place was home.
Mhm.
And I felt like my family needed me for the structure, for the consistency. We got a lot of kids, 52 kids, a lot of them. And I really wanted to be able to do something and still be with my babies. And
Yeah.
so this allowed me to do it, but also to grow as a woman, to
Yeah.
really step out on faith and do some things I had avoided. Like, I've always avoided leadership and like my nursing career. My mom's like, you should apply for this. Nope, I'm not. I don't want to do it. I don't want to lead anybody. I'm going to just leave it be. I don't want to do it. But
Mhm.
this allowed me to do it with mentors that I chose.
Mhm.
And it allowed me to do it in a way that like just pulled out of me all this stuff that like
Yeah.
internally I'm like, I know it's there. I
Yeah.
just haven't had the opportunity. That's what I was lying and saying. I
Yeah.
have no opportunity to be a leader.
Right.
I avoided it. And now,
Mhm.
in order for this to function and grow the way that I needed it to, I had to. And I wanted to, and I needed to, and I got to. And it's been amazing.
Yeah. Um,
Go on and cry, Nicole. It's
I
right
know it don't take nothing for me to cry, but I just remember thinking, we're both building teams. We're bringing people on. We're sharing this health opportunity. We're sharing this business opportunity. We want more people to participate and to jump on board. But I remember talking to Deetra and saying, like, T has it. Like, Tiara has it. She may not see it. She may not know it. Like, and I don't think in the moment when we first talked to you about it, I don't know that you knew then. But now today, you are a different woman than that woman a year ago. And a lot of times we don't realize what it takes, that press, that fire, that refiner's fire, that burn, that like uncomfortable place. We don't realize that that's where growth happens. That's where we change. That's where we become better. That's where we get stronger. That's where the like what's really in you starts to come out. But you got to go through that press. And I remember there were days and there were times where you were just like, no, not today. This ain't it. Blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, what we're going to do is we're going to keep moving. And what that looked like was not we going to keep moving, like you keep going and I'll be over here. It was we keep moving. I'm going to grab arms with you and we're going to do this together. And if you need to slow down for a minute, okay, we slow down. But we're sensitive and we tune into what you needed as a woman, as a person, as a human. We tune into what your husband needed and needed from you and for you and with you and your children and all of that. And so this is all a part of what happens when you step into this community with us. Like, this is what happens. Like, and when we talk about linking arms, there were days, I remember days where I was trying to like push you, right? And like pull more out of you. And you said, I can hear the irritation in your voice. And I was like, I am irritated, but I love you. And we're going to get through this. We're going to get to the other side of this, because when you see like if I see something in Tiara that Tiara doesn't yet see, and then Tiara's like kind of like the children of Israel walking around the same circle. I'm like, baby, you keep walking in that circle. The leadership thing was something you didn't want, right? And kept walking in that circle, walking in that circle. And I was like, God gonna keep presenting you opportunities to step into your leadership until you step into your leadership. And by golly, she done stepped into her leadership.
I gotta tell this story.
Okay.
So, like once I was like, okay, I can do this. Every time we see fear, we keep going, right?
Yeah.
And so I had done something and I was like, Nicole, I don't remember what it was. I was like, Nicole, I did. And you were like, okay, that's so great. And on the inside, I was like, I'm going to celebrate myself. I'm so proud. And it was like maybe 10 minutes later, you were like, T, are you busy? I was like, no, what's going on? And he was like, T, I love you. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm so happy to see you like stepping into this. She said, but girl, we're not going to celebrate a fish for swimming. I'm glad. I'm glad you did it. But that's what you're supposed to do. You're a leader. And I just feel like God wants me to tell you that there's so much more in you and there's so much more that you're supposed to do, but you keep seeing yourself as less than that. And I'm listening and like my flesh, it was like, she just rained on my parade. But my spirit was like, she's talking to me from a place of impartation. Because one of the things that I've always said to you and about you is that I always feel revival when I'm around you, and that there is this boldness and this fire from you that I felt like I didn't have. And that's what kind of just kept me from like getting in there and being like, rah, let's go.
Yeah.
And that moment, like after we got off the phone, I just prayed. I was like, Lord, I thank you that she loves me enough to say those things. And I need you to help me to take that and get moving. And I feel like from that day, I've been like, okay, let's go. Let's get in here and do this. Like you really ripped something open in that moment, and you did it in a gentle way. I didn't feel like you were being harsh with me. You were not berating me. You were like, I see, you've been saying it, but that moment, it really, really shifted things for me. And I think about it a lot. And it's how often when we say we want mentors, we want people to train us and do things. And the moment they come with new instructions or old instructions that we've been resisting, we're like, no. And then internally we're like, they're being harsh and I'm not ready. They're trying to take me too fast and I'm not
Yep.
ready for this.
Yep.
But how
Yep.
will you ever grow if you don't push? Like nothing grows out of the dirt unless it pushes past.
Ooh.
Times, like God is so gracious that he gives us people that are sometimes underneath us, beside us, behind us, whatever. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
nope, you're coming out, you're coming out,
Yep.
you're
Yep.
coming
Yep.
out.
Yep.
And they're literally doing that in labor terms.
Yes.
There's that uterine contraction,
Yes.
something, and you need
Yes.
it. And oh my God, I just thought about Nicole. You know how you give us a picture in birth class and you're like, your uterine muscle, it's not just one muscle. It goes this way and that way and
Yes.
this way
Yep.
and that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Uh-huh.
the same pressure when you're birthing as a leader. It's coming from all sides. And in this business, we have leadership on beside you, above you. You may have somebody below you, and all of that pressure, it bursts the diamonds.
Yes.
It bursts the diamonds. And we're all queens. And so, like, queens don't push down other queens. Like, you
Yes.
can't be here if you're not a queen.
Yes.
Even if, like, you
Facts.
can't. If you struggle with like jealousy, you struggle with being teachable, if you struggle, like we all have self-limiting beliefs or just flat out disobedience because we're
Yeah.
scared,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
like we all deal with those things. But if you're in a state and a place where you're like, I really am ready to push past that and I just need somebody to link arms with me and help me to do those
Mhm.
things, like this is the place to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I love it. This is such an inspirational like time and just really talking about postpartum health, the journey. And it's not just when we talk about health, health includes your finances. Health includes your physical and emotional and mental well-being. It includes your spirit, like all of that together. So when we're talking about postpartum health, after you have your baby, what does your health look like? Um, and linking arms with people that care about you and care about you beyond what they can get from you. And I remember, and I kind of regret like not bringing even my other crown or whatever. Anyways, so my birthday, you guys all probably have seen if you're following me in any kind of way, like I had this like just amazing crown for my birthday. And Tiara came to my birthday party looking like a whole, I want to say a snack because it feels like looking like a whole snack, that's cute to say. But like at the end of the day, like a whole queen, right? And I remember saying to her afterwards, because sometimes when you enter a space and maybe it's for someone else, right? Like it was my birthday, but she came in like a queen. And I was like, okay. And I remember saying, there is room for more than one queen in the space. And I will never try to take off your crown when you walk in like a queen. I'm going to be like, hey, oh, what? Shoot, what? Here we go. Like, I'm going to hype you up because you are a queen. And so I love that. But yeah, the other thing when we talk about queens, queens have responsibility. They are responsible for their people. So when people are running around and they're like, I'm a queen, I'm a queen, I'm a queen. Well, tell me about your kingdom. Tell me about the people that you're serving. Tell me about the sweat, the tears that you cry for those people. Because we're not just running around talking about we a queen because it's cute. You have a responsibility. And so I just want to like leave that. I feel like we can go deep and kind of dig in all the different ways, but we're building queens that wear crowns and dripping diamonds over here. And that means a lot when you step into the business side of what we're talking about. And so that door is open for you. That door is open for you to get your health on track, both financial health, your mental, physical, emotional health, your gut health. You know what I'm saying? Get your physical self under control and like moving to the next place and digging something. If you're ready to dig out something in you, you believe you were made for more or made for better, and you have settled for subpar or second best, and it's time for you to step into this next place and you're ready to do that, like call us, message us. We're here and we're ready to link arms with you and do this with you and help build this next new woman out of you. Because it's possible. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. I'm just gonna leave it there because I might start crying and like falling apart. T, did you have anything you wanted to share?
No, you said that, and all I heard was Whitney Houston in my head. It's possible. I'm sorry.
We always have a song. Like usually if somebody says something, there's a song that goes with it, but it is possible. And I want you guys to see yourselves greater, bigger, doing more, experiencing location freedom, experiencing time freedom, experiencing freedom in your body. When you are sick in your body, you don't have freedom. You are enslaved to that sickness. And so your ability to go and to do is limited. You're bound in some capacity because of your physical limitations of your health. T just talked about how she did not feel well in her body and she couldn't participate in life as a mother and as a wife. How many of you have that story? How many of you are like, I want to be more, but I don't know how, and I'm not sure which way to go? Like, trust us. Like, it's just really like a step of faith. If you can trust me to link arms with you to help you birth your baby at home or at the hospital or whatever, you can trust me to say, this nutrition is where it's at. Like, let's get into it. You can trust me to say, let's build this business. Go ahead, T.
Okay, before you kept going with that, I was going to say, if you at all have been considering this, whatever that barrier is that's been saying no in your mind, throw it in the trash and call Nicole. She is not just a midwife. She is not just a doula. This woman has made my entire family feel safer than they've probably ever felt. And I am not saying that just to boost her or to make her feel fluffy. She is more than what I think a lot of us in her community see her as. People like her name on TikTok is Mama Nicole, but she births more than babies. This woman has been gifted and graced with the ability to see into who you are and to see what you're capable of birthing spiritually and to see what you're capable of birthing in your own business. She's a businesswoman. Like, and I know most people don't know what that looks like and how difficult that is. And as your friend and as your client, I do know. And knowing what you have gone through, that's what makes me know that I'm in the right place because you've been through the struggle, you've been through the storms, you've watched the Lord create rivers in the desert and stream, all those things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's got what it takes to help me get through all of those seasons. And she's not just talking the talk, she's walking the walk. And so, like, if you have been like, I want to link arms with Nicole, but I'm not really sure, do it. Do it today. You will not regret it. And I will be so excited to see you and meet you and hug you with open arms because you'll be joining me too.
Yeah.
But like, do it today. This woman has changed my life and I'm forever grateful and you will be too.
And on that note, we're going to close out. Thank you, Tiara. And thank you guys for tuning in. And we're here. I like to say we're here all week. Shoot us a message, inbox us. We'd love to have you. All right. Have a great night. Bye.